Welcome inside the Bricktown Brewery restaurant on South Peoria in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The place for some fine refreshments, good food, and for Oklahoma sports scene. Hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln, along with the coach, Gil Cloud here. And Coach, what a show we have today for him.
Well,
huh?
I'll tell you, I'm excited about today. We have a lot of guests. We got 6 guests.
That's
so
right.
Batten the hatches, because we're gonna come at you pretty quick. But our first 2 is Zach Allen and his father, Robert Allen, who has been the sideline guy for Oklahoma State, and of course Zach is the head coach at NEO.
Then we're going to switch to boxing. Bill Haisten, the Tulsa World, great sports columnist, but really specialized in boxing, especially the Morrison story. And Trey Morrison's going to be fighting in a big bout coming up. They said the biggest event in the history of Broken Arrow. We'll have Tony Holden, the promoter, on to talk about that event August 23rd. The big fight card is featured on Showtime. Then we've got Richard Linihan to give us a preview of Oklahoma Remington Park Thoroughbred season getting ready to open on August the 24th. And then we have a real special treat, Hannah Jordan. An incredible young 18-year-old girl. What a story she is.
You won't even believe the story. We just promo it right now. You really need to be here when Hannah comes on, because this is an amazing young lady who has done amazing things with her life.
And we have, of course, it's football time in Oklahoma, getting closer and closer. Take a look at our schedule, put up on the screen for you now, the Big 4 football team openers. That, of course, starts with the University of Tulsa at Michigan State. 6 o'clock kickoff on Friday, August 30th on FS1, followed at 9:30 by the Cowboys of Oklahoma State as they kick off their 19th season at Oregon State at 9:30 at FS1. Then August 31st, Arkansas hosts Portland State. Then Sunday, September 1st, the stage is clear for Oklahoma to host Houston, live ABC national telecast.
First Sunday night game, and I tell you, it's going to be interesting because Dana gets to come back to Oklahoma.
That's right, Dana Holgerson and his Houston Cougars. And who's going to be the quarterback for any of these teams? All 4 of our Big 4 schools all have first-year quarterbacks. All right, Coach, NFL preseason underway now. And, of course, the 100th season of NFL football will kick off on September the 5th. Green Bay at Chicago. But already some interesting stories and some good performances in the preseason.
Well, I'll tell you, everybody was anxious to see how Kyler would operate in the Kingsbury offense. And, 6 out of 7
That's right.
is not bad. And he drove them down the field, and that was it for the night. But and then, of course, we got Baker.
That's right.
Baker comes in, and Cleveland really pounds their opponent. And he was, 5 out of 6, I think.
Right down for a touchdown to start there.
I did not see Josh Jacobs. I don't know if he played the running back from
he held him
McLean.
out probably.
Yeah,
or,
probably so, yeah.
And, of course, headlines being made for those that are on the field and off the field. Zach is down, Zeke Elliott is down, in Cabo training or something? Or?
Well, yeah, he's working out on the beach every day.
And we understand Dak Prescott, the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, has said no to a $30 million offer. He wants $40 million.
But he's in camp.
Yeah.
As the leader of the organization, I think that speaks a lot. You could be out.
Yeah.
And not get prepared. But I think these guys, the money is just ridiculous. And at some point in time, the bottom is going to fall out. I think.
And Antonio Brown. Well, first he had frostbite on his feet. Now he doesn't want to wear a helmet that they want to give him.
That old helmet, it's amazing when you become a millionaire.
Yeah.
What you have to have.
Unbelievable. I guess he decided he will wear a new helmet. So there you go. Big event in Tulsa this past weekend. The Pro Bull Riders came in for 2 nights of competition in the BOK Center, and we had to show you a video. This is amazing. This is Ryan Dirt Eater. Has there ever been a better name for a bull rider?
Never. From Hulbert, Oklahoma.
That's right. He just had an incredible ride. 89.75. It gets thrown. You can see, look what the bull does on top of him. What, 2,000?
2,000 pound. It's unbelievable.
What Dirt Eater suffered finally was a collapsed right lung, lacerated liver, several fractured ribs. He'll be out about 3 months, then get right back on a bull and start all again.
And they'll always go back.
Unbelievable.
What was it, the Garth Brooks song? I know his love's in Tulsa.
That's right.
I know he's going to go. I mean, that's the
Ride
deal.
with the Bulls. Talk about high school football. The dates, of course, as we tape on this Monday, practice underway.
This is our day. August 12th, we started practice today. Last night, I called my coordinator of sports medicine and indicated that we needed to send our athletics directors and our coaches a memo that we would not practice from 1 to 6 because the heat index was supposed to be 113 and actually got to 114.
Wow.
So I told them they could go before noon or they could go after 6 for the health and safety of our kids. But that's how it is all over the state because the heat index is bad all over. But we'll get through this. It's supposed to be nicer the next 2 or 3 days. And, they got to go 4 days to acclimate their bodies without pads. And then on Friday, they get to pad up. And Saturday, some of them were scrimmage.
Gorillas baseball, they're playing right now, the 12th through the 15th in Tulsa. And it's hard to believe, Coach, their final homestand. It's August 20th to 25th.
That is amazing because it seemed like that we just started the season and now it's almost over. But they're fighting, they're trying to get there. They've been up and down a little bit. I think they've had some roster changes, which makes it a little bit more difficult for Scott to be able to handle on a day-to-day basis.
And the Roughnecks still struggling trying to find a victory. They'll be back home, though, for home matches August 28th and August the 31st. We're going to come back with Oklahoma State's sideline reporter. Nobody knows more about Cowboy football than Robert Allen. Pistols firing next.
Cheers. All right, y'all, how's everything tasting?
That is awesome.
I come bearing gifts of the liquid variety.
Bricktown Brewery. Come and get it.
Whether it's a wedding, birthday, family reunion, or company event, give your next big event a unique country feel at our Red Barn Event Center located just north of Tulsa. We feature plenty of party room inside and out for up to 350 guests, a huge open floor space, and even a big stage. The Red Barn features a full kitchen and separate bride and groom dressing areas. Outside weddings are beautiful under our 100-year-old pecan tree. For your next big event, with a do-it-yourself wedding, the Red Barn Event Center is the perfect choice. Booking now for future events.
Hey Mo, have you seen the MDX? I'm pretty sure it was in the showroom when I left yesterday.
No, sorry, Jen. I haven't seen it.
Are you positive you haven't seen it?
Hey Mo, I went ahead and pulled the MDX back up on the showroom for it. Oh, hey Jen.
Haven't seen it, huh?
TU fans, football season is here, and the Golden Hurricane has one of the best home schedules in school history. Season tickets are on sale now, or purchase our 3-game mini plan. The plan includes in-state rival Oklahoma State, along with Navy on Military Appreciation Game, and 2-time defending league champion UCF, all for only $90. To get your tickets, call 918-631-GO-TU or visit TulsaHurricane.com/tickets.
All right, Cowboy fans, pistols up, pistols firing. Here's our man, Robert Allen. He's, of course, been the sideline reporter forever. Stillwater for Oklahoma State. And, of course, the Triple Play Sports and a bunch of other things going on. The best website. He is the inside man for Cowboy football. So, all right,
yeah, if they want to go to 247 Sports to go Pokes,
that's it.
Bring it on.
Come on, guys.
We're working double time there right now. So.
All right, now for the inside information, the starting quarterback for the Oklahoma State Cowboys is...
You got a coin? And I'm serious. I mean, sure. People all the time, Chris, will say you're full of it because you get to go to practice, and we do. We get to go to practice some. You have to know who the quarterback is. I apologized to Drew Brown before fall camp started because I never gave the kid. This is the grad transfer from Hawaii.
Right.
I never gave him credit. I've been saying all along it would be Spencer Sanders. The hot shot from Texas is very, very talented.
True freshman?
Yeah. Well, he's a redshirt freshman. He set out last year.
Yeah, that's right.
But I apologized to Drew Brown. I said, you've done everything you could possibly do to put yourself in this. This summer, Rob Glass told me he went to every voluntary workout. He took the linemen out for hamburgers. He did all those things. Now you say, well, that doesn't get you the starting quarterback job. No, it does get you the allegiance of your teammates. Right. Not that Spencer doesn't have it, but Drew Brown's put himself in a good spot. Is he as talented as Spencer? Maybe not, but he has those 2 years of Division I experience.
Yep.
And Mike Gundy and the staff are pretty certain that when the lights come on, it's not going to phase Drew Brown. They don't know. Even though Spencer's tremendously talented, until that happens, you don't know how a young guy's going to react. Now, I think it'll be positive. Honestly, I think we'll see both guys early in the season.
Well, I was going to say it's going to be a dual quarterback tandem.
I don't think it'll go on all year, and I'm not sure anybody wants that.
No.
But I do think that you'll see it the first couple of games. Personally, and I'm not the coach, and that's above my pay grade. I'm just a sideline reporter. But I think by the time the Cowboys come over here to Tulsa,
Yeah.
week 3, you really need to know who your guy is because the next week you're in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, right.
Now, Coach Gundy's had success, though, with the 2-quarterback system.
They went 10-0
That's
using
right.
2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Now the difference is with J.W. Walsh, who was kind of the runner,
Right.
and Mason Rudolph, who was
Yeah.
a pro-style drop-back guy. You had 2 guys that are very different. Drew is a more of a game manager, but he is athletic. He can run a little bit. Spencer is a guy that, hey, now when he tucks the ball and scrambles, it's the real deal.
Wow, yeah.
And he's got an arm. His arm reminds me a lot of Zach Robinson.
Okay, yeah.
And Zach could sling it pretty
Sure
good.
could, yeah.
Well, let's talk about golf.
Yeah.
Okay.
OSU
Wow.
has got to have a
Unbelievable.
lot of exposure with that golf.
No, you're exactly right. And now you've got a guy that's playing on the second level tour that's kicking tail. And he would have had his tour card if he hadn't been ill.
Yeah.
Now he's going to get his tour card. Wolf got his by winning a tournament. And let me tell you, I don't think Victor Hovland's going to melt at tour school.
No.
I mean, and that's if he doesn't win something between now and then.
Right.
So, yeah, and you know what you've got? One of the more popular athletes in Oklahoma State history is Ricky Fowler.
Yes,
I mean, people
absolutely.
just love, he's like a Pied Piper type
That
guy.
orange on Sundays, huh?
You know,
That's great.
and now there are a lot of people that I know were Ricky Fowler devout followers that are going around saying, Ricky may be the 3rd best player on the PGA Tour because they're so excited about Matthew Wolff and Victor Hovland.
Right.
And the two combined have already won, over $2 million on tour in 4 or 5 events?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. And,
Unbelievable.
And you know what? Victor Hovland is still living with friends in an apartment, sharing it in Stillwater. So he's saving a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I don't know, and I'm not smart enough to know how it works in the golf world. I know what football players and baseball players and basketball players pay their agents. But I wonder how it works in golf. I mean, how much of that check after the tournament goes to the agent? I know that agent gets that big chunk of the endorsement money.
Right.
But I want to be a golf agent.
Well, no kidding.
We all should be golf agents.
Absolutely.
Another very hot item over at Stillwater is the construction. How's it going for the new incredible baseball stadium?
Starting to pick up, Chris. I mean, they are starting to put the field in now, which I think Josh Holliday, Cowboy baseball coach, would have liked to have seen that field going in sometime back in the spring.
Yeah.
But because of the wicked weather we had this winter and all the rain we had this spring, they're behind on it. So they're working on that right now. It was at one time, I understand, 90 days behind schedule. Now they've kind of cut that in half.
Okay.
And if they can keep going, and I'm telling you, if you go over there at midnight, the lights are on and they're
working. Yeah,
it's
that's great.
24/7 now.
That's great.
So the goal is to be there for the opening game, or
That's the goal, but I mean, they're not, put it this way. If you go by Alley Reynolds, they're still taking good care of it. It may get the old girl may get a little more use, and maybe you get Gary Ward out to throw another first pitch.
Oh my goodness!
Before you say goodbye to it.
Right.
Yeah, we can't let you go also talk about some Cowboy basketball. One of our favorite guys, Coach Boynton, came
Mike
out one of the
Boynton,
first
I know
the
he did.
super guy, and he made such a great impression over here, and a lot of excitement about this team.
You know, Zach Lancaster is a young man I work with. He works with me on Go
Right.
Pokes.
Yeah.
And Zach does a lot of the basketball. I probably do a lion's share of the football, but we each cross over. And John Helsley works for us, and we've got a student. But I told Zach this while I was driving over. We had a conversation. I said, imagine if you had told somebody the day that Mike Holder hired Mike Boynton that roughly 3 years from 2.5 years from now, from that day, because a lot of people are like, who is Mike Boynton? That this guy would have first had a tremendous first season where he really got jilted by the NCAA by not being in the tournament.
That's right, yeah.
I mean, did anybody beat Kansas like Oklahoma State did that year, like a drum?
Yeah, right.
Second year, with all the trouble, he still has 4 scholarship players and a bunch of walk-ons and plays dynamic down the
Absolutely.
stretch.
You bet.
And now, look at what the guy's doing recruiting.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yep.
So if you had said back then on that day when people were skeptics what Mike Boynton would have accomplished at this point, I think people would be, oh, yeah, sign me up. I want this guy.
I tell you, he outworks people.
Yeah.
He does.
There's no question
Yep.
about that. You know, we have the Tournament of Champions every year over Christmas. And I'll never forget that he and Scott and one other assistant.
Wonder why they were there.
Yeah, they had a game like at 2 o'clock. and they were back in Tulsa.
Yes.
You know, they were there for the morning session, went to the game, came back, and were there for the evening session.
I know.
That work ethic is what it takes in recruiting.
And they've got 2 young men that played in that tournament,
Yes.
a bunch.
Yep.
Part of the TPS guys.
And you know what?
Yep.
Here's the fun thing. I mean, I've been over here a lot to watch the 2 Boones play.
Right.
I've had a chance to sit down with them off the court and just
Right.
talk to them about life. You could not find 2 twins with more different personalities.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, one could be in the military. He's so strict with himself
Right.
and tight on. And the other one, I think, isn't this the anniversary of Woodstock?
Yeah, exactly.
He'd have been a good Woodstock participant.
Oh, my
Yep.
God.
So, yeah, it's crazy.
Well, we got to finish back up with football.
Yeah.
It all kicks off August 30th for the Cowboys. A long
I'm
road
anxious.
trip.
You ever been to
Oregon State.
Corvallis?
I have not.
I have.
Eugene,
I
I've not.
have.
Very
you?
interesting, you bet.
How do you
Very
get
interesting
there?
place.
You go to Eugene, believe it or
Yeah,
not. You fly into Eugene and you drive
Drive
over
up
to
to
Corvallis.
Corvallis,
Yeah.
yeah.
In fact, I'm going to be there a day early. So
Oh,
that
nice.
day, I'm going to go on the campus at Oregon and look at some of the old Animal House buildings.
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
Because I'm an
Yeah.
Animal House guy.
we
you
all
know,
are.
that
Oh,
area,
you
you
kidding
know.
me?
But
That's right.
but no, I'm looking forward to it, and it is unique. Pac-12 football is unique, guys.
It is unique,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure,
It's
For
more like
sure.
a county
I know it.
fair.
We have the covered grandstands because of all the rain.
do.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
the
it
locker
really-
room for the visitors is across the street.
Yeah.
And then you Cowboys come to Tulsa for the 3rd week of the season. And what's great about it is also start of a nice series, finally, Turnpike series between these 2 schools. Just makes sense, Robert.
That and I want to get to the point where we get that Oklahoma State Arkansas thing going.
Oh, yes,
And
yeah.
I mean, if OSU is playing Tulsa and Arkansas
Oh,
for 2 of their
man.
non-cons every year,
Yeah.
that makes all the sense in the world. Now, I'm looking at the clock. I know we got the difference in this Oklahoma State football team this year, guys,
Right.
is going to be the running game. Chuba Hubbard,
Great-
LD
great
Brown,
back,
those
yeah.
running backs, and now you've got that offensive line. Charlie Dickey's doing a terrific job with it. It's been a while since OSU could run the football whenever they wanted.
And they always were
They're
the leaders.
getting
They were
back to
standards
that.
before.
That'll be a
Yeah,
different
Mike
one, you
Gundy.
bet.
Mike Gundy's a quarterback, but he loves to run the football. And I think they're going to be able to do it well this year.
We have something for you here, Robert.
Robert, enjoy
Yes,
yourself
sir.
right here again at Bricktown.
I love this place.
Best
Absolutely.
of the family, best of
Oh,
the Cowboys.
no.
And remember, Coach
Robert,
Gundy.
good to see you, man.
Coach Gundy's always welcome here.
You know, and we got to get Becky back. This has lost the head
Lost
on
the
this
head.
beer.
Oh, no head.
Look at
I'm
right
telling
here.
you, she's the best.
We know that for sure. We're going to come back and talk to his son, Zach Allen, the head football coach at NEO A&M.
He needs to win games.
The Golden Norseman, right after this.
The service is amazing.
Food's delicious.
I love the avocado fries.
I love the energy.
Local beer, great food, truly friendly service.
Look all right for you?
Bricktown Brewery, come and get it.
Man, look, for us, cowboy football is way more than just cowboy football. This is who we are. We come to Boone Pickens Stadium as many, but in this sea of orange, we stand as one. And we all know what it looks like. The crowd roaring, arms waving, and bullet flying. It's the paddles popping, the shotgun firing, and the fans rocking. It's our passion, our heart, our family, and our team. Because at Oklahoma State, it's who we are.
Each week we talk about the GTR, and we know for a fact that Forrest Cameron and his wife Sharon put out a tremendous paper. Well, I brought all 6 of them today. I'd like for you to see them. The Union Boundary, and here is the Owasso Rambler. And if you live in Bixby, how about the Bixby Breeze or Broken Arrow, the Broken Arrow Express, Jinx, District Gazette, and then of course the Tulsa Midtown. All of those, the GTR. If you haven't had an opportunity to read one, do it, and you'll be proud of it.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene. We heard from the father, Robert Allen. Now let's hear from the son, Zach Allen, the successful head football coach of the NEO A&M Golden Norsemen of Miami, Oklahoma. Zach, good to have you with us again on Sports Scene.
Appreciate it, Chris. Glad to be here.
Heck of a 2018 season. Give us a bit of recap there, and then look ahead to the prospects for this fall.
Well, it's going to be tough to replicate. This last sophomore class that came out last year is the most successful as far as wins go in quite some time, about over 25 years of NEO football. And I do feel confident, though, that we've replaced some talented folks with more guys from this state and different areas. That there's no reason we can't do exactly what we did, if not more.
Talking about that, Zach, how is the trickle down from Division I, Division II, how has that helped or hindered junior college recruiting?
It's probably cleared things up a little bit. I think obviously the NCAA is always looking to make sure that they're holding themselves to a pretty high standard, and sometimes with earlier signing periods and different rules and things that they implement, it kind of clears the way a little bit more for our recruiting time period. And I think, the more we go along, the younger and younger these student athletes kind of understand where they fit, where their role is, because the recruiting so far backed up. And, some guys at times they realize that, hey, junior college can be a great avenue for me. And when that was happening, right at about the time their senior year was ending, now it's kind of cleared the way a little bit to where, by the time their juniors and senior year come around, NEO's a pretty good idea for them.
A little background on Zach here. A 4-year start at Oklahoma State University. Made his dad awful proud up there with the Cowboys. Then on to NEO-A&M. You've been, about a decade there, right, Zach?
This will be season 11.
Wow,
yeah, second as head coach, 4 or 5 as coordinator there, but 11 overall, yep.
Let's talk about, again, the athletes that come to NEO-A&M. Are the colleges placing as much anymore, Zach? Are you out recruiting, or how's that work now?
Not as much as placing, just with the limited scholarship offers that the Division I is limited to. But there is a lot of recommendations. We're fortunate enough to have really good relationships with a lot of schools in Oklahoma, obviously, but also the surrounding states, to where when they have conversations with recruits on the road, sometimes they can kind of see that NEO may be a great route for them. So. We do get on the road ourselves quite a bit. Obviously, we're a nine men doing about a 30-man job, so we got to be in so many places at once. But that relationship with those schools certainly helps.
Your facilities over the last few years have gone through a renaissance.
It's incredible.
That really helps recruiting, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You want to feel comfortable and confident in the place that you're in. You want to feel like the school and the administration is supporting you. And the easiest way to do that, or the most obvious way to do that, is in facilities. And we have a lot of guys come recruit our school from a lot of different levels, say, hey, these are easily in the top 2 or 3 when it comes to junior college football.
You're going to miss Dr. Hale, aren't you?
Yeah, he had quite a run. Over $65 million put into the entire school, including the 10 to 15 that's been put in strictly with football. A good man, an unbelievable leader, and he'll go down as history as really the Renaissance president of NEO-A&M College.
Sure.
Well, you can build facilities, but you have to earn tradition.
No doubt.
You guys certainly have. Let's talk about the tradition of NEO-A&M national championships. One over 500 games in the program now, right?
Yeah, and we just celebrated our centennial as a college as a whole, and we're on 98 years of NEO football. Wow. So the two have been synonymous with each other throughout history, and the people of Miami understand that, but what comes with that is the expectations of putting wins up on the board, especially when you walk into Red Robertson Field.
8-0 as far as 8-time national champion, I should say. And then 6-0 at home last year. The home schedule opens now this season at home, August 29th. Thursday night football, right? Against Arkansas Baptist.
Yeah, we took a lot of pride in our home field, and it's a really tough place to play, and kind of a unexpected atmosphere when other junior colleges come into our place, because it's very unique when it comes to our level. And we're excited to get going again. Thursday nights are my favorite, just because the students are all definitely there and engaged, and they get there early, and they don't serve food in the cafeteria. They bring it out to tailgate, and everybody is roaring and ready to go for football season.
Game time on that Thursday night.
Absolutely.
What time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. That's a great time to play.
Yeah.
What do you look at your 19th season? It's going to be tough. You're young a little bit, so.
Well, yeah, we've got to replace some really quality players. Darren Williams was an MVP of the conference. The second year in a row, our running back has been the MVP of the conference. He's moved on to UNLV. But we've got a lot of great players from the state, especially up front, the offensive line. Austin Whitehead from Enid, Russell Baker from Owasso, Connor Half from Owasso on the offensive line, where we're probably the most experienced. And then the defensive line, we got a transfer from the University of Oklahoma, Ron Tatum, along with a couple of returning starters, Bryce Alonzo from Bishop Kelly, and Ian Marshall from just up the road in Springfield. So with me, everything starts up front, and I think that's our strength.
Zach, you've had a lot of pride watching the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, yeah.
Preseason opener. Talk about your running back Darwin Thompson, a former Jenks High School product.
Yes, he's one of 4 we've got now, in camp and on rosters that have come through our place in the last couple of years. But Darwin, stays really connected with our group. Still talks to a lot of the players on our campus, and it definitely serves as a source of motivation. Of you do things the right way, you go to class, you go to work. You treat people right, and good things happen, because he's earned everything he's gotten, and he's going to continue to do that.
You get a lot of players out of Northeast Oklahoma?
Absolutely. It's we start inward out when it comes to recruiting. We want guys that understand what NEO is. NEO means something to them before they even walk through our door. Because as a coaching staff, we understand the responsibility we have to carry the tradition, and we want kids to understand that as well.
Zach Allen, head football coach, NEO A&M. We have something for the coach here.
Enjoy us at Bricktown one more time.
Very good.
And again, Thursday, August 29th, get up to Miami, Oklahoma, the kickoff of the Golden Norsemen's 2019 season. Again, 6 o'clock kickoff. Zach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Chris.
Hey, buddy. All the best.
Yep.
We're going to talk boxing, an incredible event coming to Broken Arrow. That's next.
Winston, tie or bow tie? Good choice.
Sammy, they're here.
Good morning. Welcome to Don.
Come on, you guys. What did you think they were here for?
Well,
It's the Honda Summer Spectacular Sales Event going on now at Don Carlton Honda.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
Cheers.
All right, y'all, how's everything tasting?
That is awesome.
I come bearing gifts of the liquid variety.
Bricktown Brewery. Come and get it.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene, and we have 2 special guests from the world of boxing, Tony Holden and the resident expert, Bill Haisten. Welcome to Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Thank you, Coach Cloud.
You bet.
Well, I tell you, Tony, everybody's excited about this. The folks in Broken Arrow are describing it as the biggest event ever to come to the city of Broken Arrow. Tell us what you're bringing to the city, when it is, and it's in the middle of downtown, right?
Yeah, it's Showtime never does go outside.
Outdoor boxing.
No, that's something that's a dying breed, because once you have one rainstorm, they're done for history. So I had to do a lot of sweet talking to get this thing pulled off to go outdoors. But it is the biggest sporting event in the history of Broken Arrow, simply the fact it's going to be live, not only coast to coast United States, but Australia, several countries around the world.
Showtime, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Showtime.
Tell us about some of the times and places, tickets like that, information.
The tickets, I believe you have to go to the Broken Arrow website. The city website has directions on getting tickets. It starts around 6:30, the first fight. We go on the air at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the broadcast, Trey Lippy Morrison will close the show.
Right.
So he will not fight on TV. To watch Trey, you have to be there.
Which what that means is that Trey's not in the main event as such, but he's the main event.
He is the main event.
Because 80 or more % of the people in the well, I was going to say in the building,
Yeah.
on the in the makeshift stadium will be there to watch Trey Trey Morrison fight.
Bill, nobody has better ties to the Morrison boxing legacy than you do. And of course, it starts.
Well, I think he does, but I mean, from a media standpoint, you're probably right.
It starts back, though, of course, with Tommy, his fabulous career and a star-crossed career it was.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I mean, in the 30 for 30 that Tony stars in, and I have a little bit of a piece in, I mean, I describe Tommy as the most, I'm paraphrasing myself because I don't remember exactly, but basically, Coach, that he's the most complex and self-destructive athlete I've ever covered. But he was gifted, oh my gosh, he was gifted in natural power. I don't know where he got that power, how he developed it. Amazing hand quickness, tremendous boxing athlete, and I estimate I don't think he made more than about $15 million or so in his career. Had he, and Tony knows this, if he had held it together, if he had been more committed to his training between fights, to his lifestyle decision making, etc., you're talking about a guy that would have made between $50 and $100 million. Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
Talk more about Tommy Morrison. You, of course, was the main guy promoting it in his career here from Oklahoma.
Right. I remember Bill, 27, 28 years ago in Kansas City, and he that's where I met Bill.
That's right.
That long ago.
Check.
Yeah.
But if Tommy, I'll take it a step further.
Yeah.
Tommy was so gifted as an athlete, but he also fought, in my opinion, the most stacked heavyweight division decade in history in the 90s.
We're talking about who now?
Tommy Morrison.
Yeah.
Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, Ray Mercer, etc.
Foreman. It just goes on.
Oh yeah, George Foreman.
So if Tommy was in his peak today, he would not only be world champion. I say this all the time. He'd be fighting for $50 million a fight because he'd be a modern Mike Tyson knocking everybody out.
And because, you guys know, at one time boxing was one of the 4 or 5 most popular sports in the country and on the planet. Well, that's because at the time, 60s, 70s, 50s, you could take an American heavyweight champion and put him on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and everybody in the country knew who it was.
Yeah.
I bet nobody in this restaurant can tell you who the heavyweight champion is.
Exactly.
That's right. And
I can't. Who is it?
Well, that's my point. Well, his name's Ruiz,
okay.
but I mean, he's one up because there's too damn many champions.
And so
there's too many.
We had that period of time too when boxing was on every Saturday night.
That's right.
In every home in America.
And it was free. And that's why everybody had such huge fans.
You would have a Ray Leonard go win gold in Montreal and then fight a few times, and then he's on ABC with Howard Cosell on Saturday afternoon, and then by the time he got to fighting Roberto Duran or whatever, he was everybody was a household name. You don't have that development anymore.
No. You know, I grew up in Louisville. And to watch Cassius Clay and Golden Gloves on Saturday morning, when he was 12, 13, 14, 15 years old was incredible.
All right, Tony, jump us ahead to his son, to Trey. Talk about his development, and of course, 16-0, all 16 by knockout.
Yeah, Trey came to me right around Tommy's death and said he wanted to fight. And I said, no. I said, there's no way.
He's a football athlete.
Yeah, I said, go get a job, go get married, you don't want to get in this nasty game. And so he kept hitting me, and he finally says, I'm going to do it with or without you. So I'm like, great. Wow. So then I had to do it. His first fight, absolutely horrible. And I'm like, okay, well, we give it a shot. I'll give him a couple of fights, he'll be done. And then all of a sudden, he just started progressing. Then he got on Showtime with Freddie Roach as his trainer, and I thought, they put us in deep, and I'm like, I don't want to take this fight. I don't want to. Anyway, to make a long story short, Trey goes and gets a first-round knockout against a Golden Glove champion, undefeated, big-time guy from Philadelphia. And here we go. We've had some injuries that set us back a little bit, but right now he's 100% healthy, and we got to move fast now. So after this fight, I imagine we'll be on Showtime.
Well, Trey turned professional, and keep in mind too, Coach, he had no amateur background at all.
Yeah, right.
None. So he's 24 years old, starting as a professional fighter. Wow. He's starting as a fighter at the same age at which his dad was the heavyweight champion. With a million tough man and amateur fights in his background and so on. And so and now Trey is creeping up on 29 years old, I think.
He is.
Yeah, but he's a fresh 29 because
yes,
he's been fighting 4.5 years professionally, and he's only got like 22 rounds total.
Wow.
Because he just keeps.
He's a big puncher.
Yeah.
You know, the thing with Trey, he's if he catches you, eventually you're going to go down. And
that's
so
what makes him marketable, though, because somebody's going to get knocked the what out.
So for both of you, compare and contrast father and son.
Well, the power is comparable. I believe that. Now, I don't know if Trey has the hand speed that his dad did.
Trey actually has more, in my opinion, more God-given power than Tommy.
Really?
But Tommy had this beautiful explosion ability to come off the hips, and was so fast and so hard. Trey doesn't possess that yet. Trey's working on it. He's a big puncher, but he doesn't have that speed his father had yet. But he's getting better and better.
You know, as a guy that hosts a lot of events for many, many years, I am how is the venue going to be set up in downtown Broken Arrow?
You know what? It's actually going to be very charming. You know, it's hard to mix charming with a boxing match, but
it'll be cool.
We're going to put the ring right in the middle of Rose District on Main Street, unless it rains. We got to go inside, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And we're going to load it full of people. They're going to light up beauty lights all up and downtown. It's actually going to be very big for Broken Arrow.
We're excited about it. I think it's fabulous for the city. And Bill, I think it's great for the sports community.
And the timing is perfect too, because it's the last Friday night before the start of football season, because week 0 and everything else kicks off the next week. Right. So it's kind of you couldn't have more perfect timing. And it's a big deal for BA, no question. I mean, it's been a big year for BA anyway. They won a state championship in football. Now they got an ESPN game last year against Union. Wasn't that last year? I think it was. And then and now they turn around and they have a very, very attractive, there's a super lightweight fight on this card. There's a bantamweight fight on this card. These are world-class people. Yeah. But Trey Morrison is the draw. There'll be, oh my goodness, 80% of the people in those seats will be from the Grand Lake area coming down here to watch Trey fight. That's right.
Come on out August 23rd as Tony Holden and his four-state franchise present boxing in Broken Arrow, and they're calling it the Rose District in Broken Arrow, the Rumble in the Rose District. It's going to be a lot of fun. Coach, you have something for these two folks.
I guarantee you guys, if you have any time before the Rumble, make sure that you get by Bricktown.
There you go.
You go, Tony.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Very kind.
Tony, congratulations. Great event. Excited about it.
Thank you.
Family. Great to have
Appreciate you.
Good
luck. Thank you.
Bring you back, talk football. Probably did not get into football with Bill. Ourselves here.
Oh, it's here, man.
I know. Looking forward to it.
Football's here.
Guys, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All
right, we'll be right back with our Remington report. Richard Linihan gives the preview and also some pro bull riding. Stay with us on Oklahoma Sports Scene from the Bricktown in South Peoria.
At Bricktown Brewery, we're known for our famous original craft beers like Single String Stout and Bluesberry Ale. Did you know we also brew our own root beer at our Oklahoma City brew house? It's called Attaboy Root Beer, and you'll love it no matter what your age. Just ask for a Bricktown Kids menu with all the favorites for our guests 12 and under. Bricktown Brewery opens every day at 11 a.m.
The Eshbach 6E Ranch on 800 acres north of Tulsa invites you to know the benefits of miniature Herefords. The 6E has always been committed to providing the finest quality meats. Our hormone-free beef is always on grass, then grain-fed the last 90 days to that perfect mix of marbling and taste. We will deliver the animal to a USDA-inspected facility. All you have to do is pick up your vacuum-packed processed meat. Fill your freezer with the finest quality beef at the best price. We also specialize in registered miniature Herefords for breeding and show. Call the 6E Ranch today.
The 31st season of racing at Remington Park moves to the Thoroughbreds now, coming up on Friday, August the 24th. The meet runs through December the 15th. The post times Wednesday through Saturday at 7 p.m. And to give us a preview of the big meet coming up, our friend Richard Linihan. He is the racetrack handicapper, works with the media here, and longtime friend of ours, and big racing expert. Richard, always a lot of great racing at Remington Park. Just finished a great quarter horse season.
Yeah, we really did, and we'd be remiss if we didn't recognize the fact that we lost our executive director of the Oklahoma Horse Racing Quarter Horse Racing Commission just a couple of nights ago. Debbie Schaaf passed away. Very, very strong personality in the racing of Oklahoma history. So we will miss her greatly, and she got a send-off with a pretty darn good meet.
I'd say so. Again, record quarter horse meet for Remington Park. But now to the thoroughbreds. And what do you expect of thoroughbreds? Again, it all starts with the purse money. How's it looking?
Well, the horses took to the track a little less than 2 weeks ago. They are working out now. Horse of the meeting, Welder, owned by Raymax Farm over in Claremore. Terry Luniak is the trainer. Had 4 stakes wins last year, was horse of the meet for the thoroughbred meet. He's already been over, so we're going to see him again. That's a great thing. We've got the Governor's Cup defending champion coming back, a horse named Hence that Steve Asmussen trains. He won last year the Governor's Cup. That is our opening night stakes on Friday, August 23rd.
Yeah. Of course, you got to have jockeys and trainers. You got some of the leading jockeys and trainers coming back too.
We do. We have a little bit of a surprise coming over this year. Jockey by the name of Stuart Elliott will be riding regularly at Remington Park. He rode Smarty Jones, to victory in the Kentucky Derby and in the Preakness before getting upset in the Belmont by Birdstone.
Again, a great meet coming up. And again, talk about horses shipping in. One of the big money races, obviously towards the end of the meet, with some great money purses.
Right. If you look at last year's Springboard Mile, this is a race for 2-year-olds who are trying to make it to the Kentucky Derby Trail. We've had horses come out of the Springboard this year. Long Range Toddy, everyone knows him. He was one of the favorites in the early going of the Triple Crown race. Went over and won one leg of the Rebel Stakes at Oaklawn Park. Hasn't had any success since then. He got into a little bit of trouble with that War of Will and Country House situation.
The Derby,
but he hasn't run well since, but I would imagine we would see him back for the Oklahoma Derby. Also possibly a horse named Bankit that Steve Asmussen also trains. Went up and won the New York Derby up at Figure Lakes. And then another horse out of Asmussen's barn went up to Canada and won a Triple Crown race up there. So we may see 3 or 4 out of his barn. Michael Maker had another horse that did real well. These are horses that came right from our 2-year-old race, doing well on the trail in the national scene.
Well, not surprisingly, they should get a lot of horses shipping into Remington. For one reason, the money. Talk about the purse structure.
Yeah, it's really been great. The addition of slot machines about 10 years ago has added to the purses. It's a little surprising that Texas hasn't followed suit. Texas racing has fallen off. If you go back 10 years ago, Lone Star was much bigger than Remington Park, and now it's just flip-flopped. I mean, they ran the Breeders' Cup at Lone Star Park. It's hard to believe that happened now, but our purse structure is very, very strong. $400,000 race for 2-year-olds. The opening night stakes is $175,000 guaranteed for these older horses. We got plenty of stakes throughout the schedule for a lot of millionaire horses that'll be there. Shotgun Cowboy is another horse that we expect to see out of C.R. Trout's barn. He's won more than $1 million. He went down to Lone Star Park a couple of summers ago, and beat a Grade 1 horse that Bob Baffert sent in there to win the Texas Mile, a horse named Mubtahij, who went over to Dubai and won a Grade 1 over there. So this is a horse, Shotgun Cowboy, that can really fare well. He can be the first horse ever to win the Oklahoma Classics Cup. It's like a Breeders' Cup for Oklahoma breds 4 times. He's won it 3 times. And he's pointing him for that race again.
Richard, thanks for joining us, my friend. Want to again point out the racing starts on August 23rd. Then they get to their Wednesday through Saturday at 7 p.m. post times at Remington Park for their 31st season. We have something for Mr.
And
Linihan.
make sure you go by Bricktown.
All right.
Which is in the track.
That's right. Right there at Remington Park. Hey, we have some more horse involved, well, cowboys, I should say, involved. The PBR had their great bull riding competition here in Tulsa this past weekend at the BOK Center, August 10th and 11th. Thomas Walking Stick went to the arena, and Chess Tucker on the Cowboys, and give you some of the action close up. Let's take a look, take a listen.
Everybody thinks that we're competing against each other all the time, but really we're competing against the bulls.
Usually when I step over that chute to get on that bull, my mind's completely blank and I'm not thinking about anything. Man versus beast.
Here in Tulsa, you're going to have the best stock that you're going to see all year long.
The service is amazing.
Food's delicious.
I love the avocado fries.
I love the energy.
Local beer, great food, truly friendly service.
Look all right for you?
Bricktown Brewery, come and get it.
TU fans, football season is here, and the Golden Hurricane has one of the best home schedules in school history. Season tickets are on sale now, or purchase our 3-game mini plan. The plan includes in-state rival Oklahoma State, along with Navy on Military Appreciation Game, and 2-time defending league champion UCF, all for only $90. To get your tickets, call 918-631-GO-TU or visit TulsaHurricane.com/tickets.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
Whether it's a wedding, birthday, family reunion, or company event, give your next big event a unique country feel at our Red Barn Event Center located just north of Tulsa. We feature plenty of party room inside and out for up to 350 guests, a huge open floor space, and even a big stage. The Red Barn features a full kitchen, separate bride and groom dressing areas. Outside weddings are beautiful under our 100-year-old pecan tree. For your next big event, with a do-it-yourself wedding, the Red Barn Event Center is the perfect choice. Booking now for future events.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene, and boy, we have a world-class cyclist, Hannah Jordan. Hannah, welcome to Sports Scene.
Thank you guys very much for having me.
You bet.
What an incredible story, Hannah, getting ready for the World Championships. Tell us about that event coming up in Santa Barbara, California.
So this past year, I've been training my whole year for training for this one big race, and it's the World's Hill Climb. And so we'll be climbing up 14% grades of hills all the way up to the top.
Wow.
So yeah.
You just turned 18 years old, but there's more to this story here. Tell us about what you have overcome, what you've gone through Starting back when you were 6 years old, right, Hannah?
Yeah. So I was very sick as a child most of my life. My heart was shutting down. My heart was enlarged, my gut shutting down, lungs collapsing, brain sagging around the skull. They even gave me a Make-A-Wish trip, which is basically a casket and a bow. And so I always tell people now, and even as a child after I went through it, I was like, they just gave me a free trip for nothing because I'm still kicking.
There you go. So as you train and everything, what are some of the special things you have to do to be able to stay in shape?
So it's funny that you say that because I don't just get on my kid and I just zip up and get on my bike.
Right.
We have a huge process before it and getting on my medicine and all that. And it's a lot of hill climbing involved. I love hills, my favorite thing. So most people, cyclists, they hate going up it and they like going down it, and I like going up and hate going down it. So it's like flip reverse.
So, mitochondrial disease.
Yes.
Right, and a G-tube was put inside you, and you ride with that in a backpack, right? Talk about that.
Yes. So I had it for now about 12 years. And so basically I'm kind of like a hummingbird is the easiest way I can explain it. So I get constant sugar 24/7 in my system.
Amazing.
Gee whiz, that's amazing. Well, how long is the race and how long does it take?
So the pros at the fastest time, they do it an hour. So, and basically that means it's pretty dang brutal, and you got to get on your grit face and just keep mashing up that hill.
And you've earned a nickname. Tell us that nickname you have, Hannah.
So I've earned this nickname about 4 years ago. It's called the Hanimal.
Hannibal.
The Hanimal.
I like it.
Tell us some of the other events you've been in, including Tulsa Tough, right?
Yeah, Tulsa Tough is such a cool race. I love it. It's probably my favorite. And actually I raced it this year, so yeah.
Just amazing.
Well, I noticed that yesterday I think they released the new trail for Tulsa Tough.
Yeah.
Going to start in Manford and end up downtown, I think.
Wow. Yeah, they've done a lot of getting it more bike friendly in Oklahoma, which I absolutely love.
And you're leaving for Santa Barbara when?
I leave for Santa Barbara August 17th.
Talk about you did your training out there. What's the training been like so far?
So I haven't fished the road, but apparently it's a lot of hills everywhere, so it's my cup of tea.
I know nothing's bigger than obviously the Oklahoma Sportscene show.
Yeah.
She's been on a few other shows. Some of the other network shows you've been on, Hannah.
So I've been on NBC with Lester Holt. I just got an email from Good Morning America.
Excellent.
And they're talking about Ellen and CNN and Universal Studios.
And Oklahoma Sportscene.
Yes.
And Oklahoma Sportscene, right. to not include just Oklahoma Sportscene, right.
Hannah, what attracted you to cycling? I'm sure when you were growing up and all these physical things you had to go through, people telling you, well, you can't do this and you can't do that. What was it about cycling?
I think most of the world always stuck me in a glass box and expected me to watch the world go by. And it was just something about it that it doesn't matter what age you start at or how good you are, it's how far you want to go. And so I just naturally gravitated toward it. It was like instant fell in love with it.
So what happens after this?
So
do you want to be a pro or do you want to continue on?
I do want to continue on. And I'm not sure exactly what that looks like or what other obstacles, because cycling, just keep digging and do whatever it takes to get to the top. So yeah.
Well, Hannah, we wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
Make sure you come back with that championship and tell us all about it.
I will, definitely.
And you go to her Facebook page. It's Hannah Jordan Cyclist, 3 words. And on that is also some links to help on a GoFund project, right?
Yeah. So at the last minute, we had a donor cancel. And so now we're trying to raise money to get to Santa Barbara and do Worlds and, get it done. So yeah.
Think anybody deserves it more than her?
Not anybody, I guarantee you. You need to log on to that.
This is really special. Hannah Jordan going to compete, representing us in the World Championships, September 21st, Santa Barbara, California. Go after him, Hannibal.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Back to wrap things up right after this.
At Bricktown Brewery, we're known for our famous original craft beers like Single String Stout and Bluesberry Ale. Did you know we also brew our own root beer at our Oklahoma City brew house? It's called Attaboy Root Beer, and you'll love it no matter what your age. Just ask for a Bricktown Kids menu with all the favorites for our guests 12 and under. Bricktown Brewery opens every day at 11 a.m.
TU fans, football season is here, and the Golden Hurricane has one of the best home schedules in school history. Season tickets are on sale now, or purchase our 3-game mini plan. The plan includes in-state rival Oklahoma State, along with Navy on Military Appreciation Game, and 2-time defending league champion UCF, all for only $90. To get your tickets, call 918-631-GO-TU or visit TulsaHurricane.com/tickets.
Whether it's a wedding, birthday, family reunion, or company event, give your next big event a unique country feel at our Red Barn Event Center located just north of Tulsa. We feature plenty of party room inside and out for up to 350 guests, a huge open floor space, and even a big stage. The Red Barn features a full kitchen and separate bride and groom dressing areas. Outside weddings are beautiful under our 100-year-old pecan tree. For your next big event, with a do-it-yourself wedding, the Red Barn Event Center is the perfect choice. Booking now for future events. Oh, it has been a busy show. Time to wrap things up. And let's go to Gil Cloud for his parting shot.
Well, my parting shot is this. As I get ready to enter my 50th year in this business, and my 43rd as the Director of Athletics, I can't wait to get this year started. We've got some great young student athletes, and what we ask you to do is to support our student athletes. I think a couple of the commercials that have been playing on TV for the last 2 weeks about cutting programs, and the companies that are trying to assist in helping fund those programs, I think are fantastic. But remember, when you go to a high school game and you pay that admission fee to go in, that money goes to pay for what those kids can get. Let's be there when we open the gates this year. Baseball, softball, football, basketball, wrestling, whatever it is, cross country, soccer, let's support our high schools in Oklahoma.
Well, Coach Cloud and I remember, and some of you veteran football fans might too, when he used to have maybe one, the most 2 college football games on a Saturday on television, then NFL the next Sunday, maybe 1, maybe 2 games. Not anymore. Starting on August the 24th through September the 2nd, the first 2 big weeks of college football, there'll be no less than 55 college football games, most of them on television. Then the NFL cranks it up. It begins on Saturday, August the 24th. The first big game, Miami at Florida. That's on ESPN, followed by Arizona at Hawaii, and runs through Monday night, September 2nd, when Notre Dame plays Louisville. And of course, September 1st is the night the Oklahoma Sooners have the stage all to themselves. They host Houston live across the nation on ABC. By the way, some other numbers heading into this new season. 27 teams have changed head football coaches. We have 13 head coaches making their FBS debuts. That includes 4 in the Big 12 at Kansas, Kansas State, Texas Tech, and West Virginia. And we celebrate, Coach, the 150th season of college football.
I love it. I can't wait. Isn't it ironic? It's the 150th of college football and the 100th of the NFL.
And we remember the 100th season of college football.
Absolutely. 50 years ago.
Wow. Wanted to also mention to you the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame having their inductions as we tape our show here on the 12th. We'll have a recap of all that, some special interviews. And we also have, of course, some football, high school football previews coming up in the next show.
Oh, yeah. We'll have a couple of our coaches, some of the higher-ranked teams, probably Tony Daniels from Edison and Brad Caleb from Booker T.
And Austin Chadwick of Bite Magazine will be here to talk all things high school football in the state of Oklahoma. Join us next time on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Thanks for being with us this week. See you next time.